The last part of this pre-orientation um, component is just talking about some expenditures. Budgets are very important. I don't like to make surprises on a student. You were given a list of estimated expenses when you applied for the program. So basically, your uniform is going to cost somewhere around $50. You can usually get the scrubs. You can buy your scrubs somewhere other than Uniforms by Bayou, but you will need to get them embroidered at Uniforms by Bayou. The embroidery usually costs about $6 or so. So, if you find the uniform somewhere else, you can bring them in and be embroidered, but they must be dark blue. That is the only requirement I have at this time for what your uniform is as far as your scrubs go. You need to have khaki pants, which some of you may already have, so there will be an expense you won't have to put out for. But you can get khakis really at an inexpensive price, like at Walmart or Target. The polo shirt costs about $25. If you purchase it through the Pharmacy Technician Student Organization, I'll provide you a link to make the order for that with the proper size. The men's sizes do run just a little bit bigger than the ladies. The ladies are pretty true to size. Some people like a men's cut or a unisex cut versus the more tailored woman's cut. So just keep that in mind. You can also purchase your shirt through Uniforms by Bayou if you so choose, and that runs about $25. Your shoes are usually a pretty hefty expense, so I put that separately. Again, remember your shoes need to be all white with leather or some kind of impenetrable material. They cannot be cloth. And your shoelaces need to be white if you have shoelaces, or if you use slip-ons, that's fine. They have to have a non-slip sole, closed-toed, and closed heel, so no open clogs on that one. Your books are going to cost roughly about $500 for the 2 semesters. You will have 2 additional books for the next semester. Your permit application is $25, and we'll be doing permits probably that beginning of February or so. A background check is also required once your application is sent to the State Board of Pharmacy. That's where you're going to have fingerprints and other expenses. The background check itself is approximately $45. Also, drug testing, as I said at the beginning of this orientation, costs about $20 to $5. It is best to bring exact change when you go to the drug testing center on Canal Street for your drug screen. Now, some additional fees that come into the permit, you're going to have the permit notarized, so that may have some extra fee. Also, with your background check, the fingerprints may cost you about $10 to $20 to get your fingerprints completed. We'll talk a lot more about that once February gets here. So this is just kind of keeping that in your mind a few weeks out. So before you start program, you're going to need a uniform, your books, your shoes, and your drug testing. Also, you may have to pay for a physical depending on your insurance, and also your titers. So those are some things to keep into consideration. In the second semester, the PTCE exam costs $129. There's also an opportunity to get a certificate of completion from the sterile compounding course, which is $125. After you finish program, then you will be doing your technician registration, which will cost $100. And at that time, you should be employed, and perhaps your employer may even cover that cost for you. But these are just some things to be aware of. So, wrapping this up, remember, it's important to be in uniform the first day of school. I'm providing you with a copy of the uniform standard. I've already gone over the uniform. You will need both uniforms, not the first day. You will need a set of scrubs as well as the polo and the khakis. So we usually say, okay, tomorrow everybody dress in scrubs, or tomorrow everybody come in polo and khaki, so that we can check everyone's uniform. You do have the option of purchasing a scrub jacket in case you tend to get chilled. So your books, very important. First day of class, you're going to need your pharmacology books, both your textbook and the workbook. You're going to need your math book, and then you're going to need your pharmacy practice book. If you have financial aid and the books are not on the shelf, please make sure you see Miss Yolanda and place an order. That way it will hold your voucher for those books. If you have any questions, please email me and I'll be getting back to you. Now, orientation, we've got some documentation, some paperwork, some additional questions that you may have. We're going to meet on Friday, January 6th at 10 a.m. for orientation. So I will see you then. All right.